Yo, 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 yo. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, family. Thank God it's Monday. It was a long weekend. Yeah, we took NFP off. Let me know if you guys traded on NFP on Friday. I am curious because it looked like there were a couple decent setups, but by no means do I regret, taking the day off. It is what it is. We do have news coming here in about 3 minutes, so let's wait on that. Couple things that we can go over prior to this news drop. 1 second. Let me just make sure this is. Let me know if you guys can hear me. My mic is like not registering, so let me know if you guys can actually hear me. Hear me fine? All right, cool. My little mic thing says it's like not registering, but anyway. So we do have this new week opening gap right here. I'm probably going to delete it from my chart simply because this new week opening gap is literally less than 1 point. But I just wanted to annotate it so we are aware of it for today. But we really don't need to focus on it too much. The old new week opening gap is down here. I left it on the chart because I think it'll be in play this week. It's right where the weekly volume imbalance is that I noted in the Discord last night, and I think we'll see either a draw down to there. And I'm assuming that we're going to get that before we run any higher. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm anticipating as of right now. We just saw this run on this liquidity here. So I want to see how this news comes out in obviously a couple of minutes. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete this. This gray zone that we're in right now is the weekly liquidity void that would have been the target from NFP Friday. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete that so we can keep our chart clean. But yeah, otherwise, guys, there's not really much else to note. We can be semi-neutral today just because obviously the beginning of the week is going to be waiting to see what objective we're going to head and, look to take out first. So we can be a little bit more neutral in a sense today. But let's see what this news brings. And as of right now, I would say I am a little bit more bearish than bullish, simply because we just took out this high. Now we're seeing some displacing price down, and we're already seeing some break of structures here. So I think we could be good to find potential sells. Now, one thing that I see here, so let me mark this hour right here. Boom, 9 to 10. What's this right here? 850. So right at the beginning of the macro, we saw this shift below this low. What does this look like if we were to take an entry right here? 2 3/4, 5, no. Let's go to the 2 minute. How about the 3 minute? All right, so we got a big gap right here. Let's just keep our eye on this. And we'll see if we can potentially get short from inside this 3 minute gap. But we do have the liquidity sweep followed by the market structure shift below these lows. So I do like this. Let's see if we can set up a position that looks decent. So yeah, 4.5 handles right there for a stop loss, and then 5 handles for a take profit 1. What I want to wait and see is I'm just going to move that over. What I want to wait and see is what the news comes out as. So news was bullish. So let's see if this gives like any crazy reaction. I don't want to see like a displacing candle up into here, and then we take our entry. If we do get that, then, and let's say it reacts out of this fair value gap and sells off, we can look to get a different entry on a 1 minute. But let's see if this kind of just is super tame and works its way up, we can look to possibly get short right here. Let's go pin this over to the right. I'm gonna go get ready though on MetaTrader. Yeah, don't take it yet, guys. I'm gonna hold off. That's not what we wanted to see. So we'll just chill. News was bullish anyway. Holy shit. Damn. See, that's why we wait. That's why we didn't want to just enter off the rip, especially if it was just gonna displace. This is the gap in question as of right now. hopefully what we can see, guys, is, you know, this could displace lower, and then, you know, also create another gap here, and then we can find that as our sell entry. Stop would be above this high. Just joined the Zoom. Could you just catch up what we're looking for today? Yeah, so basically we're neutral with our bias because we've got buy side and sell side objectives on the higher time frames that we can reach for. So we're neutral. News came out bullish, so therefore we didn't get short here in this gap. Good thing we didn't, because we would have been stopped out in less than one candle. And so yeah, we're just waiting because we've taken out this buy side liquidity right here. I'm leaning a little more bearish right now, unless this 15-minute candle were to, like, you know, close bullish, then that would probably change for me. But as of right now, that's why I'm not willing to get long from this gap. I could be wrong. It could just react perfectly out of that gap, and that could end up being the move for the day. But I can only trade what we see, right? So as of right now, on the 15-minute time frame, not looking at the 1 minute, it looks more of like a liquidity sweep right now than anything else. And we do have some SMT divergence between these two, which is also, you know, an indication that a potential reversal is coming. As of right now, nothing on the 1 minute. Hopefully we can see price as a bonus get below, swing below here. Doesn't have to close below there, but if we can swing below there, come back, maybe even use this breaker in alignment with that fair value gap. Oh, you guys already know the deal. All right, so that 3 minute gap is closed. Let's just remain patient. Everybody remain calm. What about NQ though? So still lower high on NQ, pushed up a little bit higher. I'm thinking that if this displaces from here down, we could look to short NQ instead. It is technically the weaker of the two based on the 1 minute SMT divergence. Kind of on the higher time frames, I'd prefer ES, but going strictly off the SMT, this is the weaker of the two. And as of right now, ES isn't giving us anything. ES, we do have a 3 minute gap as well right here. We got 2 minutes left on this candle. Kind of sucks because our fair value, our stop loss is either going to be huge or kind of sitting out, you know, in no man's land a little bit. Alrighty, folks, get ready here on NASDAQ. If this doesn't close the way that we want it to, then I think we'll shift back over to ES and focus on that 1 minute gap, or the 3 minute gap. I'm sorry. All right, we're pushing. But yeah, nothing on this 1 minute time frame. There was no 1 minute gaps. That's why we haven't gotten anything yet. And Dow did, yeah, have a nice push. ES pushing. See, but now we got SMT divergence the opposite way, right? NQ had a lower high, but guess what? Now it's having a higher low. You guys see what I'm saying? That's why, that's the only thing that's preventing us from, I feel like, sticking with NASDAQ right now. But we could look to get short guys in this gap right here. I'm probably gonna go like 50% of the gap, 3.5 points. Let's see. Where does that put us on the 1 minute? We really don't need to be above, too much above like these wicks right here. So like one tick above, 3.5 handles on the 1 minute, but this is a gap on the 3 minutes, an order block on the 1 minute, 5 handle TP1. That's our trade right here. I guess it's like 3 3/4 stop loss. Sell limit 42.91.75. Ticks. All right, yeah, we should be good. I'm gonna set a limit order for right here, guys, and then TP1 will obviously be 5 handles. Where's my? Which lines up with being right underneath these lows, which I like. And then this would be 10 handle take profit 2. And then further take profits would be looking for that, you know, sell side objective, which we're quite a bit of ways away from that. That'd be like the extended take profit. But for those people that want all the confirmations, liquidity sweep, market structure shifts, 3-minute fair value gap was right here. We are just about to tap into it. And we kind of have the a little bit of a confirmation with seeing what Dow Jones has done already, having sold off the way that it has. NQ, really not so much. Kind of glad we didn't stick with that. To me, it's just been so bullish. It's like, hopefully it doesn't leave without us, but I do like the fact that, you know, we're not displacing to our entry. We were almost on the 1 minute, but then we stopped, turned around. I want it to just be like a slow little, like one candle pokes up into it and then goes. That's ideally what we want. Because if we start, you know, if we get like a huge displacing candle up into it, then it doesn't hold, well then we got to flip our bias probably, because now we have to look at things differently and we have to say, okay, this was the liquidity sweep and now we're going back up. So just a case of the Mondays, man. Mondays are always, not always, but as of late, Monday is always kind of the trickier, but it's naturally a trickier day to trade because you don't know what the market wants to do for the week yet. And there's always usually a buy side and sell side objective in play, but you don't know which way the market's going to go first or how it's going to orchestrate the move from point A to point B. There's a little implied fair value gap right up here. If we take heat on this position, I would expect this to be our last line of defense. Right up here. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully this just gives us everything we need to just sell right off. Assuming assuming it comes back for us. Yeah, I would say this is a good TP4 too if you wanted to play off this 15-minute order block right there. NAS 1 minute fair value gap as an opportunity to enter shorts, or is it not valid? The one that got filled already. Yeah, we were looking at it. The reason it definitely was valid. We considered getting short there. The reason I didn't was because there was some new SMT divergence that formed between ES and NASDAQ, with ES putting in a lower low and NASDAQ was putting in a higher low. So the SMT at this point was just kind of conflicting one another. And knowing that NAS is more bullish on the higher time frames, that's why I just stopped looking at it and I came back over to ES. But yes, it was valid. It was definitely valid. Right here. But yeah, I do like this setup. Like I said, not the cleanest setup in the world, not our cleanest setup ever. Simply because, you know, I don't like that we've had to find our entry so much lower on this move than what we'd prefer. And it kind of sucks that our stop loss either has to be, you know, right here versus, you know, ideally you want to be able to put it above or below the liquidity sweep. But, I mean, it's just like, doesn't make any sense. So no point in doing that. I would actually rather take a small loss. Instead of making my stop loss huge, I would rather take a small loss and then end up getting another entry later. And then, you know, get it back and pad it from there. But the ideal, very best, perfect scenario is, you know, you get that liquidity sweep, you get that 1 minute, you know, you can get that market structure shift as a bonus if you want, but you get the fair value gap offered to you much higher up in this price action. So you can get a tight stop, protected by everything you need to be protected by, and then let her rip. All right, we're at 930 now, so hopefully 930 can bring this little sweep of these highs right here, triggering us in. We'll see if it works up into here. And then, yeah, take her down. All right, it just triggered me in. I just tapped a sell on MetaTrader when it tapped in. Let's see. All right, guys, we're in it to win it. The hard work's over. Let's let the trade play out. Whatever the market makers have in store for us today, per usual, we have to accept our fate now. But we'll keep looking at this 3-minute chart. That way we can see all the confirmations that we have. Fair value gap, implied gap here, if it wants to work a little higher. But yeah, guys, TP1 here, 5 handles, TP2, TP3, and then, like I said, optional runner if you want. Everyone's always so quiet until we hit TP1. Have you guys noticed that? It's kind of eerie. Sitting here, faintly hear house music in the background, just await our fate. This must be like what it was like when, like, the Titanic sank, and everyone's just waiting for the lifeboats. Everybody nervous. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I can very proudly say that, I mean, I used to be like super nervous trading when I first started. Like, I'd get, my hands would be all clammy, literally face would be like all red by the time I was done. But one thing I would say is, like, if you actually are like genuinely nervous and scared when you're trading, you're probably trading with too big of a risk. But I feel like, I don't know, it comes with time too. You just kind of get numb to, like, hey, shit happens. Sometimes you lose. As long as you follow your plan and focus on what you can control. We did that today, so I'm happy with the outcome either way. But I do have to pee, which kind of makes me feel like more nervous than I normally am, which I'm not really ever nervous. But let's just say if one crazy candle comes out of nowhere, I might piss myself. I'm holding my pee, and then we're gonna be pushing pee. You know what I'm saying? Badumts. This is our last line of defense right here. So if this doesn't hold, it doesn't hold, I guess. 30 seconds left of this candle. I'll feel good if this candle closes like this. Yeah, any AI news you guys want to drop about the Pentagon right now would be sick. You know what I mean? All right, we got a good close on this candle. It's a good sign. And if you guys weren't aware of, like, what the implied fair value gap is, basically it's when you have, so like this candle right here, but you got these long wicks that kind of overlap each other, but it's just the wicks that overlap. Basically about 50% or so of that, where these wicks cross, is considered the implied fair value gap. And a lot of times, in this case it's not, but in a lot of cases you'll see, like, on a smaller time frame that this ends up actually being a fair value gap. It might be on like the 15-second, but on the 1 minute it's not. But usually that's what you'll see, is like on the smaller time frame it ends up actually looking just like a normal fair value gap. I know Mondays do love chopping. Monday is probably my least favorite day of the week to trade. But it's like you can lose any day of the week, so it's not like crucifying Mondays. I just don't think that's. But if you notice, like, hey, if you notice, hey, I always lose Mondays, or I have like a 90% lose rate on Mondays. Most of my losers come on Mondays, and you want to, like, remove it from your trading plan. I know a lot of people that do that. They'll just remove one day of the week, whether it's a Monday or a Friday. Can we get 5? Can we get 5? You know, we're not asking for much. We're pretty reasonable people. A lot of no trades on Mondays. Yeah, I could see. The only reason I like it today was because after this liquidity sweep, to me, you know, getting bearish in the short term made more sense. I like that we went from a neutral to being able to lean more bearish. So I like that aspect of it today. And the other annoying thing too is you don't know how we're gonna get from point A to point B. So it's like we could be right now. This trade could lose and we could still be right. Like this could just be, it could wick up, do something stupid, go like 50% of this wick. It could take out this high one more time and then go. You know what I mean? You just don't know. But that's why you collect the confirmations, you take the trade. You collect the confirmations, you take the trade. Anything else this market wants to do is completely out of our hands. But the new macro is coming here in about 7 minutes. So I'm kind of expecting as we draw closer to that some more volume will pick up here. Obviously these candles are, I don't know what the hell this is, but they're slowly capitulating higher. They're closing bullish on the 3 minute. We haven't had an actual bearish candle yet on the 3 minute. The 1 minute we have. All right, stopped out. Minus 3 3/4 of a handle. Stop loss hit. No bueno. Looks like this was the move on the 1 minute. But what do you do? So yeah, I don't regret the trade, but resulted in a loss. Might still turn here, guys. Let's hang out for like 10 minutes and see what it does. This is the coming into the macro, like we said. If we get to replay the setup again, we'll get to replay it. But yeah, stop loss was hit. I know winning is more fun, guys. I know, I get it. So here's 50% of the wick. If we tap into here, respect off of it, and then displace lower again, we can get the entry before the end of the hour. I'll replay the setup again. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to get long right now, truthfully. You know, higher time frames hold higher power. What does this look like on the 15? Like, look at that 15-minute candle we wanted to see close. Look at that. If that doesn't look like a liquidity sweep to you, I don't know what does. On your chart, if we entered off of the bottom of the 3 minute fair value gap, we would have been given 5 handles and stopped at break even. Oh, really? Like right here. You right. See, that's we talked about this last week, how sometimes it's like the smallest things make all the difference. Hey, it is what it is. Oh, it makes you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, it's gonna close that gap too. All right, guys. Yeah, let's focus on PM session. I'll send the updates in the Discord as of right now. Again, we gotta wait and see what it wants to do with this range. I kind of have a feeling that it's just gonna range around. It's just gonna stay in this price for probably the next couple hours, most likely, up until we get closer to right up to lunch, and then into lunch. I think we'll start to see things open up a little bit more and start grabbing some liquidity levels, and then we can hopefully frame up a cleaner trade. But yeah, hopefully everything makes sense from the trade today. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop it in the Discord. We can definitely talk it over, but hopefully it all made sense. Are you trading next week CPI, PPI, and FOMC? Yes. Yeah, we're not going to get an entry in this hour, so we'll leave it at that, guys. All right, pay attention to the Discord. I will keep you guys updated for PM session. We're definitely going to be trading it as long as the markets aren't just absolutely disgusting for whatever reason. But we should be hopefully in a better market condition than this by PM session. All right, so have an amazing Monday, and don't let the loss beat you up too bad. We'll get it back and then some, like we always do. All right, peace out, y'all. I'll see you guys in the Discord, and we'll look to crush it for PM session. All right, talk soon.